sweet songs, melodies pure and true. Everything's gonna be alright. This is my message, your ancestors' message to you. Don't worry about a thing. Remember we said we did this video a little while ago. Every little thing gonna be alright. You just have to accept reality. Don't worry about a thing. Just rally with your bass. Every little thing gonna be alright. Just hope that your bass is actually your bass, not your face bass, your fake bass. My bass is humanity. I'm rallying with my bass. Hang on a second. Find a video on VK. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is your ancestors' message to you. I was thinking about my grandfather's message to us, which he, in the end of his life, he let us know about the Great Depression. It was craziest thing. Craziest thing. The most words my grandfather ever has said to me was telling us about the Great Depression. He was an old farmer down in Arkansas. He had hard work to do. He was a good man. Took care of his neighbors, took care of his neighborhood. Always put people up if they needed it, fed people. I have not been on Facebook. Who is that? Christine? Good morning, Christine. Am I late? I didn't know if I was late. Are you late? No, I think maybe I'm late. I don't know. I've been busy. I've been busy. I'm not around. Gerard's not on Facebook because he's CIA. No, Gerard's not on Facebook because he's got kids in his community that he's responsible for. A whole lot of them. I know it. You're a freak. You got kids all over the world. No, actually, I got a responsibility and an obligation to do what I can for my community. So I spent my weekend getting to know everybody. We've been in ignorant land too long, rallying with our bases and avoiding neighbors. And so now it's time to get to know everybody again. So I spent my weekend getting to know people. I spent my weekend trying to put deals together. I looked at the news and I saw the false reality that's being portrayed, that on the other side of this, everything's gonna be okay, and we should know better than that. So I'm preparing, and preparing for those who aren't preparing. Preparing for the kids who have bellies who need food to eat. So I'm rallying all my gardener friends together with the locals in the area to talk about what have we been growing, how is it doing, how can we grow more, how can we set up little education classes to teach people how to grow, because on the other side, you're gonna have a whole lot of hungry people. And national security is food security. I'm not crying about the government, and I'm not crying about politics. Remember, now is not a time for that nonsense. I can't believe people are trying to make this political. Do y'all see this? Is anybody watching? They're trying to literally make a pandemic that they all agreed to, political. Not directly or indirectly. They all wanted this. They all didn't want to take care of nobody. Boy, they wanted to drop some bombs, didn't they? Oh, it's fun then. Sanctions, oh, it's a whole lot of fun then. All invasions, oh, it's going to pick the chat. We didn't want food security. Yeah, that's why I said I got to take care of the kids in my neighborhood, because I know. My responsibility are the kids in the neighborhood. They got to eat. And if they don't eat, their parents got a responsibility. And I got a responsibility to them too. They watch TV and they're like gaslit, believing that the politician's going to save them. The politicians who all sold their stocks and didn't tell them about the coming pandemic on both parties. And so I got a responsibility to the people who were gullible too, right? They were born on this planet, born in indoctrination just like I was, and they got an obligation to their children. And the obligation they have to their children is to feed them. So on the other side of this, when unemployment is beyond what it was at the Great Depression, which I've been spending a little time studying in between getting to know my neighbors, is what it looked like and how to live through it. And that was my grandfather's last message to me. But the obligation of those parents to their children is to feed them. If my cupboards have food, it's to get that food. And this is where you can have what on the Boondocks they called an end moment, where you got good people But in a gaslit gaming society being gamed by banks and artificial scarcity, not being prepared for pandemics, and they had plenty and plenty and plenty of time, but they chose not to. It's easy to rob other people. But two good people can come against each other, and that's how this world works. It's how this gaming simulation of a world works. And if we don't grow up and accept reality's scary sometimes. It's scary. That's why I think people avoid it. If I were other people, I'd probably avoid it too. Reality doesn't scare me. I see the aliens behind, and I don't even know if it's a real picture. People are enjoying, like, oh, I'm gonna talk about aliens. I'd love to, but we live in an ecosystem, and I'm not really focused on aliens right now. Like, of course they exist, but it's insignificant at this moment in time. If we don't die, or if we do die, we won't thrive. So, anyway, let me do this. Oh yeah, I gotta find bring my comments up. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys have been talking to people in your community, getting to know them, not just on Facebook, waiting for the government to save you. Because you capitalists that are here, you know that's socialism, right? Watching the news, waiting for your government to give you a stimulus package and give you what's been given Wall Street all this time. That's socialism. I know you're in capitalism, be social. This is what I'm saying. When capital runs your society, you can throw out the socialism and communism and what's it? Socialism, communism, and capitalism, because it's all the same damn thing. You're watching TV, waiting for your government to come save you. The government that bipartisan put you all here around the world. And they blame it on China. So, that boggles me. My mama called me last night. My mama called me and she said, oh, baby, I need you to read something. And she told me what it was about, how Trump caused it. I was like, Mama, I love you to death. I ain't reading that because that's going to get me upset. That's why I'm not really on Facebook now. Part of the reason I'm going to get upset. People are trying to disaster capitalize on this. They're trying to pull people into their political party for votes. They're trying to pull people over. And we got real problems. Real people dying. Not from, well, hang on, let's say it right. So it's the cuckoo flu. I'm not giving up on that one. I'm not letting that go. It is the cuckoo flu. It's the cuckoo flu because we are cuckoo. We could have stopped this in the beginning. We could have stopped it 100 years ago before we had societies where it could thrive with them. So it's the cuckoo flu because we cuckoo. We cuckoo as hell. So I'm not going to stop calling it the cuckoo flu, but people are dying. Right? One person dies every 10 minutes in Iran right now, they say. And I don't know how true that stat is, but I know people are dying. People die every flu season. Right? Got one side saying they didn't see anything, the other side saying that, oh, we need to act like it's a pandemic when it was when it was just a flu. And I'm always in the middle, like, no. How about we listen to the doctors that are fighting the pharmaceutical industry, the ones that question their own industry, that are saying, hey, we need to be concerned. Let's not make this a Spanish flu, right? Because the Spanish flu, it went through the first time and it really wasn't nothing. I'm saying it wasn't nothing. It killed a few people, but it wasn't bad till we helped it. Like we're helping with new sanctions on Iran. One human being is dying every 10 minutes in Iran, and we're preparing new sanctions to kill more. Why? Disaster capitalism. The same reason you trying to get people to vote against Trump or vote for Trump. Same damn thing. Same damn thing across all the line. Y'all just toilet paper hoarders. You're trying to disaster capitalize when people are dying, when we need to pull together and accept reality like adults. But, hey, that requires behavioral change. You don't do none of that. Anyway, so she wanted me to read an article blaming Trump, and I'm just like, that's stupid, because the both sides are part of it. Like, the only reason it's here in America now is because we wanted it to be. I'm sorry, it's false flag. I call false flag on the Spanish flu, Black Plague, bubonic plague, all of them. Bacteria don't become pandemics without human help. We gotta help them. We gotta do what we're doing to Iran. We gotta force it to live in millions upon millions and millions of humans for long periods of time so it can come back like the second wave of the Spanish flu, the Black Plague, and kill 27% of the human population. But like I said, I think we die. If we go extinct, it's going to be politics that kills everybody. They're going to get everybody. You ain't going to run and hide. So I got the aliens behind me. Because I don't know, aliens are part of reality that I enjoy. The real world. I'm not alone in my own little head. I don't rally with my base. Well, no, I do rally with my base ecosystem. I don't rally with my base indoctrination. There's a difference there. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Y'all preparing for the flu? Oh man, we done got a team together. I've been meeting my neighbors, talking. Oh, we handle it. Goal is to feed everybody you can, and of course, don't let people who we can't feed cause problems in the neighborhood. So yeah, that's why I was busy all weekend. I had no interest in arguing on Facebook. On Facebook, people rallying with their base, saying, "Oh, we got to stop the election. We got to change. We're gonna change." It's like no, it's the system that's the problem. It's not the people. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Oh, somebody talking about Q already. QAnon people believing in the Savior still. Isn't that about right, Lori? I love them to death. I don't know, I don't understand, but I love them to death. I love y'all, boy. Y'all love your entertainment. Woo, the mermaid's gonna be real too, but that's okay. Never in history, Lord, have I ever heard, read, seen, transcribed, and interfaced with Akashic records where billionaires and lords and kings came to say, save the poor kids. Ain't never happened. It's never happened. It's not happening now. They're not shutting down human trafficking. And like I said, I enjoy conspiracy with everybody. I prefer reality, but I enjoy conspiracy. Lets me sleep at night. So yeah, I'm not a big partaker in the Q. I think some of what they say is probably right. Some of what the other side says right. Some of that side. There's always like a small degree of truth to like everything. If you're smart enough and you can tolerate enough to stick around. Good morning. So good morning anyway. Good morning. Oh, Susan in the house. Susan was out. What was she doing this weekend? I'll stalk my friends. Like I look at your posts, but I'm not really trying to interface with Facebook that much. I'm pretty much done with the platform. I'm just gonna stick around because I think I built some stuff over there on accident, and I want everybody to use it. If I disappear, I kind of feel wrong. I kind of feel guilty doing that, so I'm not gonna do that. But Susan was out foraging. She was working on her foraging skills. That's what you need to do. Y'all need to encourage her. She says she's gonna start making videos to teach you how to forage. You need to know people like that, and you need to know what to do. It's always better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Absolutely. Good morning. Get a ton of invites. Where is everyone? Everyone's scared, Susan. They're rallying with the bases. It's all political. Oh, it's all political. We've got a flu being turned into a pandemic, which probably phase 2 in the fall is going to come back and murder everybody on this planet. They're out there talking about an election. They're out there fighting. I see them. I'm not getting engaging in the post. I don't have time for it, but that's what they're doing. Animals are doing better, less pollution. Yes, they are, Christine, because we can shut down every unsustainable system will be shut down. That's just a fact. There's nothing you can do to stop that. No, we need to rebuild another unsustainable system on the other side of this. No, you need to let this system crash and burn. And people get upset with that. It's like, oh, you're just an apocalypse person. No, I'm actually just a person who listened to his grandfather and listen to whatever thing, creature, wave energy, whatever that's stimulating me to a point where I learned how to do sustainable things and grow food. And now I'm looking at the sign of the times. I'm like, yeah, this is the time. This is not the time to watch TV, sit at home and do nothing. This is the time to start tilling your front yard and your backyard. The township is not going to prosecute you. They understand that there ain't going to be a township if people can't eat. So you need to go ahead and do the smart things. And so, no, I have no interest in waiting in government. To me, that's too much socialism. It's too much communism and for a capitalist. This is what I am. I need capital, so I'm a capitalist. Good morning. Neighbors all on a walk, nice otherwise. I've never seen them. They're good so far. Christine, all I see is beautiful people. That's all I see. I was out at the lake this weekend. I beautiful people walking, good morning, greeting everybody, talk about it. You know, the funny thing about over here, Christine, not many people believe it. That get outside. The people who stay inside, they might believe all of this. I don't believe, and most of the people out there like, this makes no sense. We literally have collapsed the world's global economy. Something else is actually going on. And on the other side of this things are not going to be normal. And people get that. Calm people. Folks out doing yoga. They're doing yoga in the yard. Did y'all see that? The Americans, some of the Americans, they're doing yoga across yards like in Italy they're doing. They're having a party cross. They're like shadow dancing from one apartment building to another. Good morning. So no, I see nothing but good people, but I live in a good area. So I'm not gonna, that's that privilege. I don't live too close to the rough area. Although I will say, not too far from my house, there was a line around a gun store. Poor people done ran out of food, and they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. And reports coming in the National Guard, but keep calm. Keep calm, rally with your base. I keep calm, and I rally with my base, and I have no disillusions of who my base is, the human race. So they can go on with that Iran stuff. They can go ahead, Cretan, I think y'all should rally with your base. If you think it's a good idea to starve more and keep medical supplies and things from the Iranians and take this and turn it into a black plague, I think you should do that. I think you should. That's if that's your base, if you believe that murdering people is still a good idea, letting people die, letting a bacteria learn how to cultivate and learn and mutate and thrive within a human being, and you think you're not a human being, you don't think it can come visit you in the summertime when everybody starts traveling again, okay, then I think you should do that. And this world will go the way it's supposed to go, baby. Like I said, I agree with nature. 100%, I'm on nature's side at all times, places, and situations. Let me see. Anything for divisiveness. Yes, Lord, but so the cute thing, same thing. Everyone's trying to profit from it for the most part. That's why I can't really get down with it. Even my friends here and around on Facebook, I see them profiting to a degree off of it. And it's just not a time for that. I can't engage. I'm not going to judge anybody, but I can't engage. I think now's the time to look out for people. Got to look out for people. Oh, here comes Stacy. See, she saw the aliens. I told y'all, didn't I? I told you. You put the aliens back there, people come. No, Stacy, we're not really talking about aliens. I was listening to my shows last night and saw another guy took a picture of an alien. I thought that was interesting. And so I got the aliens behind me. Just accept reality. The reality, the depressions always come. And the reality that the analysts are saying on the other side of this is going to be worse than the Great Depression. That being the case, you need to be prepared for it. Accept reality. Reality can be scary. Yes, it could be scary if this is a real picture and real big-headed people walking around this planet. But it's just reality. Your world's collapsed. Don't wait on your government. Get outside. Pretend like the principles we all embrace, we never embraced. And so we took something that could have been a minor problem and made it a huge problem. Good morning. Good morning, Rebecca Costello. Good morning, Treat. Trisha Blankenship. Good morning. So sweet. You're a good man. No, I'm not a good man, Christine. I don't say that. I'm a good man. I am just a man. There's a difference. Good men go beyond what men should do. I don't go beyond. No, Christine, I'm a little too lazy for that. I'm a man. Good man. I just do what I'm supposed to do. Kids in my neighborhood, I'm supposed to feed them. That's the bit. And if I don't, their parents supposed to come murder me and take what's in my cupboard. That's not good. That's just being a man. That's being a grown-up. That's what I think. So I've been buying. Christine, I'm going nuts. I got thousands. There's no way I can deal with all that I've planted. I got deals going right now with a big field where we're trying to turn into a CSA. I spotted a bigger field this morning, and I need to call a friend of mine who knows who owns the field. And I'm gonna try to put that together to where we can have different breakouts of community gardening. I was thinking about it, Christine, there are people who are shut-ins, right? The same people that everybody stole the toilet paper from and the frozen pizzas. They can't get out. Then there are people who don't know how to grow. And so how with the cannabis industry in some states, what happens is you can actually get the license and grow cannabis for someone. I think California does a lot of that. So I think I'm gonna try the best I can to get this set up for this field that's not too far from my house, where neighbors can go on and say, you know what, I don't know how to grow a damn thing. I need a plot, or I need a plot. I'm gonna grow my own, or I'm unemployed. Let me get my plot, or I need a plot. I have no idea how to grow. Help me get started and move on. And I'm gonna try to see if we can't bring about stability in our neighborhood for whatever happens. Right. And that's awesome, Gerard. No, Kimberly Jackson's not awesome, man. That ain't awesome. I just don't like lead. I don't like lead. I like tomatoes. I like peppers. I like spinach. I like smoothies. Lead, I'm not too big on lead, Kimberly. And if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, then they supposed to put some lead in me and take my cuckoo puffs. So this is just basic stuff. Is what we're supposed to do. I love it. Love me some aliens. Yes, Stacy, I do, and we ain't never gonna meet them, girl, if we let these people murder all of us. Let's each do what we can. Yes, yeah, everybody do what they can, Lori, and from your own perspectives and your own neighborhood. If you can stabilize your own neighborhood, knowing what the Great Depression looks like. So I've been spending time looking at the Great Depression, what people were going through, right? Less than, what was it? 80% of the people back then were farmers or had gardens, and now less than 3% do. And so I know what the problem is. Is that simple? You know, I find it interesting that a lot of these documentaries talk about what caused the Great Depression. And to me, that's like everybody's conspiracy theories, like, you know, Q and the aliens and the Democrats, Republicans, Trump's this, China, racism, whatever. And I'm just like, it doesn't really matter. What matters is looking at the circumstance back then. And they made it. A lot of people starved, but they made it. And what we need to do now. And one of the two big things I saw about the Great Depression is, well, one, we ain't gonna have enough food. There's no question about that. Because they're like, so I was at the grocery store and I ran into some heirloom tomatoes, right? And I was getting all excited because I had never seen this shape. I'm like, yeah! Most people, they need that tomato to be round. I don't like the round tomato. I want my tomato to have like little bumps and nodules and like testicle looking things and look like some boobies and nipples. I like organic and rough and heirloom because nature don't care about how you want it to look. It just keeps evolving to look the way it's supposed to. So I like heirloom. So I grabbed that heirloom. And of course, I'm making seeds. Well, I'm not making seeds from it. I'm replanting the seeds. I found a couple things I found to be interesting, which I like to share the information. People are saying, because I always had this fake news thing, a fake news belief, and I don't know where I got it from, but that the gelatinous coating on the tomato seed, that you can't replant it because what you would do is when you save tomato seeds, I leave them in a jar and let them sit there for a week in the fall and then let them dry and store them. But apparently that coating doesn't prevent germination. So I didn't know that. I had that fake news thing, so I'm running an experiment now, but I wanted to replant them. So I'm looking at that tomato, and of course, look on the side of it. And of course, it didn't say made in Pennsylvania. It didn't say made in Jersey. It didn't say anything about being grown anywhere local. It was Canada. And just like using a little common sense, I'm thinking, well, what happens if when all this is done and we don't have any problems and things get turned back on in a month? Not in Canada. Mind you, that's not gonna happen because I know the Americans, they like soda pop, they like ho-hos, Twinkies, donuts. Case scenario, a month, everything's back online. May not be in Canada. They eat a lot of junk food up there too. May not be, and if all of our tomatoes are coming from Canada, we got a problem. Doesn't mean tomatoes won't come in because they come from Mexico too. Mexico might go back online. But the reality is the price of food's gonna go up. And then unemployment's going up too. Unemployment goes up, food prices go up, so does brown people with who know how to grow food, ain't grown for everybody. That my lead diet, those people that lead diet's gonna go up. And I don't think that's something I want to do. Maryland is legal, G. No, Hillary, no. Cannabis is not legal in any state in America, not that I know of. It's not legal anywhere. And somebody I know you're typing right now, I can hear you like, oh, that's not true. I live in Colorado. I know you're typing right now, you might want to wait, give me a minute. Legal means you can do it. You don't need no license, right? You know, it's not legal just because your state wants to make profit on it. They want to jump in and make billions of dollars away to federal government. That's not legal. If you got to get a license, that's not legal. That's just not as corrupt. That's all. Stacy loves aliens. I love aliens too. I do. But we ain't never gonna meet them. This is why they don't come here, Stacy. This is why they don't come. Because we take bacteria and make pandemics out of it because it's profitable. Disaster capitalism. We can get more votes. We can make more money. We can sell our stocks. We can poison. We can kill off Iran to make it easier to invade. And then shout out, I got to give a love shout out to any nation who is full of the meek that Jesus said everybody's supposed to love, full of the meek, but they're fighting the pandemic and they're fighting the Democrats and Republicans and NATO forming an invasion, giving them sanctions and dropping bombs on them. Like, it's bad enough here. People run around here, hey, there's some of these people out there out their damn minds. Imagine if you had to survive this time right now, but Iran was dropping bombs on your head and not letting medical supplies in your country. How hard would that be? We're all connected, and karma is a mother hubba. That's why I don't think it's going to be quick. Karma does what it does. Smallpox, blankets, anyone. Ooh, Lori, thank you for taking time to to speak to us, Gerard. I'm doing the best I can, Lord. I can't really be online much because I got dirt under my fingernails, digging. I'm playing. I didn't have enough compost for this. I had no idea I got to feed the 200 kids. I had no idea. But I'm doing my best I can offline. In between planting stuff, I can look online and get a good joke. There's a lot of great memes out there. There's a whole bunch of good memes, and that kind of keeps me going too. But we got to take care of people in our local community. But I jump back and forth on here to see what everybody's doing. But I don't even know what else to say, Lori. I don't know what else to say. I think we basically spent the last 2 to 3 years, and Lori's been there from almost the beginning. We were doing this, having these discussions. We are human beings. We are a human race. Anything that we roll out on somebody else is always going to come back on us. And Lori, I don't even know what else to say about that. So I look and I see what people are going on about. But right now, the big thing is the community gardens. And I don't know who pulled my coattail to Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a great app. I'm telling everybody I know about Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a phenomenal app that allows you to see the gossip that your neighbors are talking about. In between trying to pull people together, right? Like right now, your security is your neighbors. You got to get to know, and this is a good way to get to know people in a time where they've kind of been like pushing people away from each other. We're definitely cruel. We're too cruel, Loco Coco. We're cruel. We don't have to be, but we are. Well, Gerard, it's legal to grow here in Cali. Is it 100% legal, Susie? Susie was like, she was thinking about it. She's like, oh, damn it. What I'm going to say? What this fool going to say to me? Is it 100%? Like, can you just like grow it? You don't have to ask nobody for no seeds. You don't need no license. You don't need nobody running around checking with flashlights in your back window. Like, is it 100? If you can grow cannabis the same way you grow mint and you got seeds at your local grocery store, to me, that's legal. If we got that, then I retract that statement. California done figured it out. California might be the first to fight off the cuckoo flu. Reporting that I am still sick feels like a bad cold. Many of people around here are sick with a cough. Don't worry about that, Vaughn. Remember, speak positively over it. I think Rand Paul has it too. Y'all hear it? Rand Paul has it. Ibris Ildra, he has it. He saved the world. He got it. And he made the giant robot movie and had the giant robots to save him. And the rest of the human race sat around waiting for Idris Elba and his friends and the giant robots to save us. And he seemed to get it. Most people who get it obviously don't die, So it's just when the flu comes through, do what you always do, take care of yourself and eat right, put down the donuts, the ho-hos, the Twinkies, the apple pies, that stuff you can come with later, the milk, stop drinking that, drink your smoothies, your body will fight it off. You just gotta boost up your warriors, your white blood cells to take care of it, right? The people who have trouble are the people who have debilitated immune systems, right? So, you'll be fine, just go with it. Then I posted on that one, we love you, Rand Paul, we do. Solidarity is one of the few who speaks the truth the majority of the time. Please stay away from Ron Paul. Please stay away from Daddy. Don't go nowhere near Daddy. Don't catch a black eye. Didn't he get a black eye the other day? Rand, we love you to death and we want you to recover. You are following in your father's footsteps, but Ron Paul fathered a lot of us in some ways. Ron Paul educated a lot of us in some ways, and it affects the elderly the most. So Rand Paul, we love you. Take care. Drink your smoothies. Just like Ivana, but stay the hell away from Ron Paul, please. Ron Paul says that every day. And yep, and Lori, they're going after him. They're going after Ron Paul. They're going after him because, once again, I haven't seen more than 4 minutes of cuckoo flu coverage, which is why I kind of wanted to watch a little bit today. I don't know if my friends let me get away with that. But apparently in the beginning, I'm seeing why people are saying, you sound just like Donald Trump saying it's a hoax. I said, first of all, let's be clear. Donald Trump said it's a hoax. I ain't heard 30 seconds of what came out of his mouth, nor Obama's, nor Idris Elba's, now I heard a whole bunch from Ron Paul, but I kind of trust him a little bit. It's not a hoax, and it's not something to act stupid. So let's clarify the whole political side of this. When this happened, that's what he's supposed to do. The right is made mostly more conspiracy theorists than the left. So the first thing he had to do was say it's a hoax and false flag. So he went to that extreme. The other side, it's their obligation and requirement to rally with their base and do the exact opposite. If Trump said the wall is white, it's got to be black. If Trump said the grass ain't growing, it's got to be weeds, right? And so their first thing is, oh no, it's a pandemic. to do something now because it's political, right? This is what we talk about with climate change, where, we know the climates are changing. They've always been changing. We're speeding it up too, but you don't have to take any extreme sides, ignorant sides. But that's the gullibility of the population. And this is why I don't know. I'm on the fence if we make it or not. But I said, no, I've never said it's a hoax. I said that I like science. I like to listen to doctors, not media pundits. I don't think media pundits know anything about health. And so I'm always in the middle. I said, no, it's just the cuckoo virus. The regular flu is coming through. And if we act stupid, we're going to make it a pandemic. We got that opportunity every flu season, and we got an extra one this flu season. This was highly infectious. It's different from that perspective. It's highly infectious. It infects a lot more people, but that being the case, most people don't get symptoms, right? You can't trust any statistic on it. And that's why I'm always dubious. That's my new word. Once again, still ain't learned how to spell it because I don't care. I'm still dubious on statistics because most people who get it don't know. They don't get tested. Same with the flu every season. So all the statistics are wrong, but I will say one statistic I found highly interesting from the CDC was that they didn't rank anybody under the age of 9 who got it. Nobody under the age of 9. So that tells you everybody got kids under the age of 9, you need to find yourself a bubble and put them little jokers in it. They're carriers, man. Carriers. Don't be out there kissing babies at the park. I was waving to people running around the park. I was not out there shaking hands, and no, I stay your distance. I'm a little reserved. So I don't believe any of the statistics. Once again, it's flu season, do what you're supposed to do. But I find it interesting that the U.S. federal capitalism government became communist overnight. I find that to be interesting. And but it's all political. Our neighborhood is active, good. And I still work. I know, Lori, because you're in healthcare, which is a good thing. And then my other problem with it there, Lori, which I really would prefer not to talk about the cuckoo flu, but seeing how I let y'all drive the discussion, for the most part, I'm gonna look at the news and see if there's anything else that's interesting. But you should have all the protection. Every nurse, doctor, all the medical professionals who y'all know me. I'm not anti-medical industry. Y'all didn't go in the wrong way you need to pull the profit out of it. But in the meantime, these are the people that's keeping this thing at bay. It's not your politicians, nor is it your stimulus or banks. The people who are keeping this thing from becoming a Spanish flu, in which that opportunity comes around every flu season till it warms up, is the people on the front lines. They should have all the plastic gloves, not idiots at the damn gas station. I was at the gas station this morning, Lori. The guy had plastic gloves. You know what I had? I had a tissue. And I know that's not much protection, but I take my tissue out. This is what I do anyway. I go to the grocery store. No, I know nurses and doctors and medical professionals, they need it. Their kids need it. Their family need it. Because we need them to stay on the front lines. If they start dying like in the Spanish flu, oh, you can hang it up. You can hang it up. When y'all scared Lori and these nurses and these doctors into going to work because there's not enough supply to take care of themselves because you got an ignorant government that's bipartisan that always does this nonsense, you can hang it up. That thing, once again, every bacterium that wants to become a virus, it needs a whole lot of help. And I see disaster capitalism all the way up. Oh, the live stream and Stephen Greer was, wasn't Stephen Greer amazing, Christine? Yes, he was. Oh, I was so happy to see him back. I was so happy to see Stephen Greer back. That man, he solved the problem long time. Do y'all know that Stephen Greer cured the cuckoo flu long time ago? People don't seem to know this. When he just said, take care of everybody. We got free energy. We got the technology. We just don't take care. They're hiding the patents. They have all this ability to do all these amazing things where we don't have to have a capital-based society. Stephen Greer cured the cuckoo flu from becoming a pandemic a long time ago. And that's why they silenced him. But I was so happy to see him come live again. Hopefully he does it on a regular basis. So true, complete socialism. Buddha Cat, I want total social robotism. Total, complete. Because it's not a debate anymore. It's not a debate if we can take care of people. People can see that now. It's not a debate if they didn't have to go to work. They can see that now. So hopefully on the other side of this, they stop watching that damn news and start doing what they're supposed to do. I'm definitely a collapser. I'm a collapser, but y'all got to realize you got to feed your neighborhood. You don't feed your neighborhoods, that's a bad collapse. We need a good collapse. We need a collapse of banking. We need a collapse of war. We need a collapse of artificial scarcity and planned obsolescence. And the only way we get there is your communities become sustainable again. Stephen Greer, Susie, Stephen Greer. He was the one who brought together all the alien people, all of the scientists and the doctors and the police and military who all worked with the aliens, have seen the craft, worked on the craft, the Bob Lazars. But he did it in a way that was beautiful. Why is somebody calling me? He did it in a way that he brought professionals together. And so when you bring professional people together, the engineers who worked on this stuff, like 1,000 of them, and he showed that we have free energy. Free energy has always been around. We just we're not releasing it to the people, right? And so when you look at the world in terms of the real problems around the world that create the impoverished conditions that allow for flu or bacteria to become cuckoo flus, it's because they don't have free energy. They don't have technology for energy. He also blew the hole open on the whole climate change nonsense. He didn't say it that way. I'll say it that way because he showed that we have not only free energy, but 1,000 patents that the Washington keeps secret through the Invention Securities Act. So he was another father of mine. I got a whole lot of fathers. He was another one like Ron Paul who raised my consciousness in certain areas, but from a technological perspective. But he used professionals. So he didn't do, the aliens took my baby, stuff like that. He used the people like, no, I'm a scientist and I think I'm giving up my career, but I got to tell people the reality about the powerful technology we have. Every pandemic, every flu needs our help to become a pandemic. And hopefully people start to see that. The ruling class is slipping, sent lots of folks home with plenty of time to collaborate. Yeah, Rebecca, but that's why they're censoring heavy. They're censoring heavy and people are connecting. Weird things are happening on Facebook and that's kind of got me a little concerned, Rebecca, like I mentioned not too long ago. But people are collaborating. Hopefully they collaborate locally. 2 apps that y'all got to check out, once again, Nextdoor and start a community gardening club. It's called Groups. Start a group so the people who live directly in your neighborhood will start growing, right? Because that's going to limit this from becoming too bad. And the other was Smart News. Smart News. The only news that matters now is local. You can turn off that CNN, CBS, Fox. Not that they ain't always been lying to you, because they always have. But because the only thing that matters is your local news. What's happening down the street? They're dying from the vaccine. Helen Turner, that would be historical. See, the problem with people like Helen Turner is they say historical facts. And we saw that. And that is very well documented. Now, I can't tell you what's happening over there, but historically, we know they rushed these vaccines. That's the only place, Helen, that I'm all for disaster capitalism. I think they should disaster capitalize. I think they should make the vaccine. Because I come from the pharmaceutical industry. I'm not on either side of this. I think they should make the vaccine, make it freely available to seniors and those who are affected the most, the people who believe in that, and then they should be able to give whatever price they want on it. They should, I don't know, make whatever price they want, because I don't want it. I don't want it. And in medical martial law, that's when we really gonna have problems. Right now, I'm telling everybody, trust your local government. Boy, they come through with that vaccine, try to force it in everybody and get us to pay for it through debts and the next new currency that hell no, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue for the tissue. I'm fine if you believe in them. I simply don't. I am learning every day. Lori, aren't we? Smart adults learn every day. We live and we learn. Some of us do, Lori, not all of us. Not all of us. 100 years ago, history repeating, the vaccine made the Spanish flu, killed multitudes. And Lori, that's what people don't like to talk about. They don't like to talk about it. But even the Great Depression, we don't know the exact details because they burn those books so we won't ever read them. But we're always helping. We use times of war and Cold War and exploit and give bacteria leverage to kill off our enemy. But bacteria don't care about your enemy. Bacteria is not saying, oh, this is Iran, we're going to stay right here. Like, even if these morons designed it, and this is all true, that the people who say it's a bioweapon, and they released it in a certain country, it doesn't really matter, because that bacteria doesn't know nothing. It knows no difference between Iran and America. Like, yeah, well, we can design it to just get the Iranians' genetics. Do you think bacteria as soon as it gets going in the Iranians, it wants to know how to get and taste some Americans. And it's going to mutate till it figures it out. People traveling all over the world. This is why you can't have psychopaths in government. You can't even have a psychopath government. That's why I always say, fight the system. Or Bob Marley said, I didn't say it, fight the system. But Lori, history, if it happened in history and it was profitable then, it still happened today. Bubbles of protection around all the children. Yes, Helen, I'm all for the children, but right now the children are the carriers. The carriers. The death rate is the smallest under the kids of 19. And nobody under the age of 9. Animals are doing better. Yes, less pollution. Yes, they are. The airplanes. Ooh, I'm loving it, Christine. Has anybody seen any chemtrails? I'm not seeing the chemtrails. I'm not seeing them. What the hell's going on? I'm okay with that. I'm breathing better now. I don't feel like this. Ooh, that's what I don't know. Like, we have friends. Who's it? Brother Chris, who lives up there by Claudia and them. He moved from California. He had to leave. He fled California. I got a couple friends who fled California because of the chemtrails. He couldn't even breathe. He's got some sort of interstitial lung disease type issue where he had to move to Vermont. Brother Chris, and he was close to dying. But I'm not seeing these damn airplanes up there no more. I was at the lake, like I said, I was just like, I'm loving not hearing airplanes. I think the airplane industry, I think they should die. I do. That's another one. I think y'all should just be killed. I'm not interested in stimulating a system that shouldn't exist. I think massive corporations should go out of business. If our government was smart, they'd have done a couple things. This is why I don't care about Trump's reaction, the Democrats and Republicans and how they react. No, we cheered them to keep the system that allowed this to happen. So I don't care what they did. This is on us. A couple things they would have done if they gave a damn about us. One, they let these big corporations fail. Instead of writing more stimulus socialism, they let them fail. Let them all fail. The banks, the airline industries, the auto industries, let them all fail. What you do is you prop up small business. That's what you do. You prop up medium-sized business. You help them stick around, let the big ones fail. That's how you kind of get your world back a little bit. Might give you a chance, but you don't stimulate them, let them fall. Americans don't need to go nowhere anywhere. They don't need to go nowhere. They can stay at home. They need to stay home and grow some food and learn and get to know their neighbors. They shouldn't be going nowhere. So I think all the big industries should fail. This is a great way to stop the monopolies. But instead, they're writing that big stimulus package to give all these massive corporations billions of dollars, no, trillions of dollars. Isn't it 1.3 trillion or something? Sprayed here heavily the last 2 days. Oh, did they, Jonathan? Well, I think they have multiple methods though, but I think one of the methods that they talked about is the airplanes. Dane Wigington talked about it. They just use airline flights. Like, they got the big sprayers, but then they also use the jets that look like they're airliners. And NASA partly agreed. Didn't NASA admit that they spray lithium? So this is not conspiracy theory. This is what they do. But now that you don't have airlines up there confusing people, and we know there's not supposed to be a lot in the air, I'm suspecting it's a reduction, but I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing a lot of airplanes up there, and I'm seeing very few chemtrails. Good morning, Hillary. Yes. What works, forget the rest. No, yes, use what works, forget the rest. Hillary, that was way back in commentary. I'm gonna take that from a sustainability perspective. Let's use what's sustainable and throw out the rest. If it's sustainable, let's do it. If it's not, get rid of it. And that way we don't end up in an unsustainable world. We made this happen. This is our karma. I know the place you're talking about, Lori, it's like its own city. Okay, gotta love our Susan Jewell. She's a gem. Yes, she is, Rebecca, and she's gonna start doing videos, so y'all should encourage her. Show us what mushrooms to eat, not eat, the lettuce and not do. Although I think with that one, you gotta have a class, right? I asked my mushroom people if I should use the mushroom app to go harvesting mushrooms, and they're like, yeah, if you wanna, if you're ready to go ahead and check out, use those mushroom apps. Don't use no mushroom app. You need to take a class in mushroom harvesting. I had a thought. Speaking of psychedelics, anybody done peyote? Y'all tell me about peyote. I've never done any psychedelics, but I think with your voter registration, because people are still ignorant, using politics to capitalize on people dying in a pandemic, trying to act like they weren't all a part of this, that created the system that allowed this to happen. Acting like they ain't killing people, like they ain't bombing people and sanctioning them into death, which is the same way we got a lot of viruses and very few of them are bacteria born. A lot of them come from your voter registration cards. I think with your voter registration cards that you should have I think they should give you peyote. Don't you like that a religious ceremony that you're supposed to go on a vision quest? I think everybody should do a vision quest before they before they're allowed to touch a voting lever. I think that might change the system. They're making us into social pariahs if we choose to ignore their pandemic, germophobic rhetoric and move around freely amongst the cootie carriers. They can try anything. Deborah, they're supposed to though. They're supposed to. I once again, I ain't giving up on the cuckoo flu. I don't care what anybody says, Deborah Chandler. I know the parts of history that they told us, which is we caused this. Our ignorance, our apathy, our voting, our planned obsolescence, our artificial scarcity, our creating bioweapons labs, evolving the sciences of Hitler and all the things that Dr. Mengele did. We did this. Keeping technology from other people, we did this. Not helping China, we did this. We did it. We absolutely did it, whether directly or indirectly, and I'm a part of it with everybody else. I pay my taxes and I live here. So they can do anything they want, but I'm always going to say that I'm always going to tell them the truth and say, Donald Trump caused the pandemic. No, you did. And so did I. Well, it was the politicians who knew that sold the stocks. No, because I own stocks too, don't you? Do you got a retirement? Then you're capitalizing off of death. That's why the system has to die. What's even scarier is most seniors getting the 4X as powerful flu jab. Well, and you know what, Hillary, my problem with the seniors and the vaccines is I really stay away from that. I don't go anywhere near that topic, to be honest with you. Not when it comes to seniors. There's too much. There's too much. I don't know. I'm not a virologist, right? You know, young people, you can eat healthy, you can run, you can eat smoothies, you can put down the donut, step back from the bagel. You can build up a powerful, strong immune system. Seniors, I don't know. I leave, you know, Del Bigtree and those. Like to let him handle those questions and those points. I try to steer away from it. I just know that we need to look out for our old people. So I do what I can do. Right? I need to make sure I have land in some of the fields in my area, hopefully that are close to where those seniors are. And I'll get a plot in their name and grow them find out what they like to eat. What do you eat? Spinach, tomatoes, you're shut in? Okay, you'll eat it, you know how to pick it, but you don't know how to plant it. I got your back. I'll do it. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. I can't help them with vaccines and flus. I don't know anything about that. I know how to grow. You know, I can set up aquaponic systems. I'm gonna do my part best that I can to look out for them because that's who we are, or we all die. An ancient civilization, Susan, you are a wealth of knowledge. She is, Lori. I've been trying to encourage her for a long time. You know, but she's a little shy, I think. She's kind of like me in that way. She's a little skittish about the humans. She's a little skittish. I'm a little skittish. And these humans, they like to cough and sneeze, and they like to touch you, and sometimes they even like to talk to you. What did my son tell me this morning? He said, I don't know, we've been having texts back and forth. He said something to the effect that he said that he's at his mama's house right now, back from college. He said that being shut in is getting to me. And I was like, no, son, if you actually pay attention, since you were born, I've been a shut-in. I've been a shut-in since you were born. The people, they know, they cultivate. I've been saying this for a long time. You got Americans walking around here with no kind of immune system, because that's what the doctors say. Half the doctors, well, I'm making that statistic up. Half the doctors, because I like to make stuff up sometimes. Look, I got me who is that? Somebody on VK. Anti-inflammation drugs that are killing their immune system. And then everybody on TV is giving them commercials to destroy the rest. I've been skittish about Americans for a very long time. Since I had y'all, is what I told them. Since y'all went to preschool and played with each other's snots and ate your boogers and rubbed things on your face, you come home and get sick for a few seconds, and I get sick for a week, and I gotta earn the bread. No. I stay away from people. Wash your hands. That's why the aliens don't come. That's why Stacey's still here. That's why the aliens ain't coming. Nope, because we don't wash our hands. We don't wash our hands or butts, nothing, armpits. We don't wash none of that. We eat a lot of things that create all types. We might be an experiment. Maybe they just put us here because we're dirty and see what kind of plagues we can create so that the aliens can use them in galactic warfare against each other. We're like a petri dish. All right. Anyone else get an email from VK saying someone access their account? Nope, I did not get that. I'm still learning how to be, but I've been posting over VK. I put most memes now on Instagram, VK, and I actually started twitting. I'm a twit now. I'm on Twitter twitting, and I'm figuring out how to use that. Oh, it's me, Susan, Patricia Hauser over there. Patricia Hauser's in the house. How come I'm not getting a subscription apocalypse? That was fun. I want to see that again. Can we do that? If you're not subscribed, you should press that subscribe button. This will continue, but we shift in topic. The topic, I think, is based on what the community wants to talk about for the most part, but it's usually in where we want to go. And right now, I'm out of politics. Like, I like to laugh at politics, but right now, it's ignorant. It's ignorant. People are actually dying, whether from the vaccine, the cuckoo flu version 1, COVID-19, a bioweapon, scarcity, not having enough food. People are really dying out there. The real pandemic is the pandemonium. And now is not a time for your ignorant politics. Do not come at me with Democrat or Republican anything. I don't want to hear it. There's something wrong with you if you do. Something is wrong with you. You know, you need to be out there getting seeds. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be out there doing something for your community, not out there being ignorant like this is normal. This is not normal. This is how did someone said it the best way. It said this is a generational changing event, right? They will talk about this for a very long time, not because of what's happening right now, but for what's about to happen based on the Great Depression. Just got my first book about foraging yesterday. Great, fantastic thing, Deborah. While the trucks are delivering, get out there, get your books on foraging, growing, hydroponics, aquaponics, how to grow food, how to use herbs and medicinals. Everybody has a skill and everybody needs to use it and apply it to their community. If you want a stable community, if you want to play The Walking Dead, that's different. Don't get the books. Don't plant no seeds. You like The Walking Dead, that's interesting to you. You like the idea of getting guns to defend your neighborhood, and the National Guard just like, nope, we ain't going over there. Nope. Kimberly Jackson, we ain't going to her neighborhood. Nope. They didn't plant no food. They didn't feed their kids, and now they got gangs roaming in the street with guns. Nope, we're going to go to the communities that got the money. We're going to stabilize them first, and we'll deal with the morons later. Posted this in 2015. Thing yesterday about all the non-human skulls found in Peru. Yes. What is his name, Patricia Hauser? Jaime? I'm gonna click on that. Can I click on that? His name is Jaime, right? That's the guy who keeps finding the Jaime and Brian Forrester and those who are actually finding all of these non-human skulls. We are not alone. We've never been alone. We've never been alone. We're never gonna be alone. All right, I clicked the link. I'm not sure what just happened. I got a script running called OK.VK. So it's trying to pull up the link that you just sent me. Hope that's not a virus. No, it looks like a YouTube link. Non-essential travel is banned in New York now. And okay, well, we saw that, Kimberly. People were texting me the other day saying that they were seeing the National Guard show up on Long Island, out there in Brenner and Vince premium face mask. See, I don't really care about like what we do on the back end of a pandemic. I only care about prevention, and we didn't do anything to prevent it. So I'm not really interested in arguing and fussing over what do we do to or what caused it. We cultivated a petri dish of scarcity so that it would happen. Let me see, what is this? Non-human skulls found. Oh yeah, Brian Forrester. There you go, Patricia. That's Brian Forrester right there. Hang on, I can't show it, but we can take a peek at some of the imagery. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let's do this. I gotta create a new screen so I can show the peoples. I think that's. You probably should spend more time like looking and trying to figure out what the real world is as opposed to fighting, fussing, arguing. Okay, it's a talk. Okay, non-human skulls. Yeah, but we've known this. We've known this. The ancients tried to tell us before. Who sent me that video this weekend on Atlantis? Somebody sent me that video on Atlantis. I think that was Susan. That was Susan. where they were linking together, where the Egyptians are just basically the follow-on from the Atlanteans. You know, but they showed us the big head people a long time ago. We knew that there were people with massive craniums that they worshiped, and they started doing the boarding to the kids' heads because probably they realized it made the kids smarter. Well, if you increase the brain cavity of your head, you'll have more space for more neuron connections. So yeah, if you have a bigger head, you probably would be smarter. But they did originally because they saw the kings do it. You know, and they'll either explain it away or they'll find out there's truth behind it. But either way, there's always a lot more going on than what they do in the public domain. I don't really trust anything on the mainstream media. They're useless. You need to burn them up and throw them away. My son just sent me Atlantis videos. Watch them, Buddha Cat. Yeah, because the Atlanteans fell away. The whole purpose of the Atlantean story is great civilizations build up. They worship these kings and lords, and then they collapse. And it's the stupidest thing that you can ever do is to allow a single few control all the media, all the technology, all the food, all the resources, all the power, because eventually they're gonna kill everybody. So yeah, I'll have to look at that. Thank you for that. But that's just another little nugget, little piece of information. Yeah, it looks like, oh, wait a minute, no, is that an ad? Or yeah, okay, Brian Forster. Yeah, but Brian, that's what he does. He goes all around the world and he looks for signs that things aren't the way that we've been told that they are. And he does a great job of it. He has a phenomenal job. But watch the videos on Atlantis. Atlantis went away, and the only reason that Egyptian priest told it to Solomon because it keeps happening. And we can't seem to stop it from happening. We can't seem to finally grow up and say, no, I finally get it. We are the source of our own problems. We're not, how's that saying go? We're victims of our successes. We're not victims of our successes. War's not successful. Hiding technology is not successful. Hiding free energy from the people is not success. Having starving senior citizens is not success. Having children that are starving is not, there's no success in this. We exist. We are always victims of our failures. The failures of a gullible population that's still talking politics when we got these great examples of how we're gonna go extinct. We've been long enslaved. We have Christine. We act like slaves and we are enslaved. People can't get ready to vote for their next master. And I'm just like, well, maybe, ooh, you just made me think of something. Who sent out that, or did I didn't post it. I didn't post, I can't, yeah, I guess I can't, I didn't bring it up. I think Susan posted that on Instagram. I can't rally with my base because I don't have a base in politics. My base, or rally with your principles and your values. It's like, no, my principles and values mostly came from the Christian church, which means I have absolutely no place in politics. If I need to be Christ-like, Christ was an anarchist. Christ believed in leading people alone, let them do what they need to do. Christ never voted once. Christ did not have a registered voting card, and his name wasn't even Christ. His name was Yeshua. His values were never in war and destruction and sanctions and murdering people and killing people and letting flus become pandemics. That was never any of his values. My values are leave people alone, feed people, give them sight, heal them before you beat them over the head with your belief system. The exact opposite of politics. That was a great post, Susan. I think that was Susan on Instagram. Wasn't that you? I want to take a quick peek here real quick. I haven't watched the news and it's been since the pandemic started. I haven't watched it. I have no idea what the monkeys are talking about. Nothing for me has changed in my life, except for I now have people who will listen to creating grow systems to give food away or grow food to make it as cheap as possible for people to eat. Now people are listening. That's the only thing in my life that's changed. I haven't changed nothing else. I haven't changed any of my other behaviors at flu season, and I'm not going to. Everybody see Pompeo calling this an exercise, and Trump saying, you should have told us. No, I didn't see that. Post that link. Some of them have non-human DNA and some have red wavy hair. Well, you know what? And they explain some of it away. Patricia Hauser, we know the red wavy hair came from the Giants. Don't get me started on Giants. We'll be here all day and I got to go in 30 minutes. But I take that information and I link it together with what other people said to understand what the real world looks like. That's why I got the aliens behind me. The real world, not the fake world, not that this is a real picture, but the real world, that we are a very small thing in something massive. And if we don't find our place in this massive ecosystem, if we don't discover our sentience or consciousness or anything, we're gonna go extinct. And we're supposed to. So I like the real world, but no, I didn't see that. I don't think Trump is in the loop. You know what? But I'm not anti-Trump. I still prefer a crazy president. I'll take a stupid president. I'll take a nutty president. I'll take a Twitter thug president. I'll take a president if y'all gonna force a president on me. I don't want a president. I don't need one. I'm over 10. I actually don't need nobody to tell me what to do, tell me what my rights are. I don't need to give my rights to an authority. But if I have one, I need him to not be in the loop. That's what I need. I need him to not talk well and make it sound good. All right, here we go. Here. This is what I'm talking about right here. I got you this. Right here. Oh goodness. I'm hesitant to show it because I don't want to build into the fear mongering. That really is a problem. But talking about economic collapse, that's a real deal, because people don't need to be fearful. They need to keep calm, but do what you're supposed to do on a pending economic collapse. If you know what the Depression was like, and you had grandparents or parents who told you about the Depression, or you lived through it. I don't think I got anybody here that's 102, but I might have one or two. If you do, go back to the behavior you did before it happened. Look at what happened during the Great Depression and act like that. Now, mind you, things are different. It's a little weird because you didn't have a central bank back then. I guarantee you. Now, because the people who cheer central banking, they talk about how we've got a cushion, and they do have a cushion. They can print the money. They can print the money and try to stabilize the market, like they're trying to keep the black market going. They're trying to prop up the big corporations. But the reality is that nobody's going to want the dollar. Like, it's hard to control a global economy. It's not easy. You know, if people still stick up with the dollar internationally, a lot of that makes sense, like the petrodollar, because they need oil, so they got to buy crap from America that nobody wants anywhere in the world because we don't make nothing good. We stopped with quality a long time ago. But they buy our crap and services so they have American dollars so they can buy oil. Nobody wants American oil now. That's not going to happen. Nobody's going to want the petrodollar now. Russia already started moving away from that. So did China, so did Venezuela, which is part of why they wanted to invade Venezuela. So nobody's gonna want the dollar. So nobody wants anything that you got. And if you don't make anything, and I live in America, most people can't change their oil, let alone make something to sell. So what's the value of the dollar gonna be, right? Another scenario there is that, well, people who don't have food now start growing food. It's a great thing that this happened in spring. If people got a house to stay in, they can't evict you because they can't do mass evictions. They do mass evictions and people will say, hell no. And if people in mass say hell no, then guess what? Property ownership is going to go away. It's not going to be enforceable. You're not going to kick 20 million people out of their homes. They don't want that to happen, but that's going to happen. And people are going to have to grow their food. And when that happens, I got a house to stay in, food to eat, and water to drink. What the hell do I need to be a slave for? Why do I need to go get a degree? Why do I need to get a PhD? Why do I need to support a black slavery market? Colonization. Why do I need to support mass incarceration? Isn't it Italy, Iran opened up the prisoners, let all the slaves out? America's starting to do that a little bit. Why? Because the CEOs don't want to get it. It's actually the virus is starting to go through the prison systems now, right? And so the world is changing, and I don't think that they're going to stop it. But yeah, so we were already in a recession, which is 3 consecutive negative quarters. So depression's not even a question. You just need to look at what the Depression used to be back then and ask yourself, do you want to be in Great Depression-like situations? Do you want to be in soup lines? Do you want to be in Twinkie lines? Do you want to be in cookie lines? Or do you want to be sitting at home in a community that's sustainable because y'all were growing food? Depression warnings emerge. We have to look at that not from a fear-mongering perspective, simply from okay, I'm in the mindset, I get it. There's no vaccine coming out in 3 weeks that are going to save me, okay? And odds are they're not going to test it. They're just going to force it out there. And so how do I change my behavior? Should I sit at home and watch the television, drum up the fear, and try to get more fear in my friends because I saw a more extreme news broadcast than they saw to give them more fear, waiting on my government to come save me? Or do I change my behavior, get out and do what I'm supposed to do. Yes, Lori, the values that Mr. Rogers' neighborhood taught us. Get out there. Who are the people in my neighborhood? In my neighborhood. In my neighborhood. Do they grow basil and tomatoes? Dude, it's the people that you meet each day, or it's the people that you meet on Nextdoor. And there are a lot of neighborhood apps. You know, you just need to find the neighborhood app that your neighborhood is into, or go knock on the doors and meet people, but don't like knock on the door and stand at the door. Now, if you're in America, don't knock on the door and stand at the door. That's not going to end well for you. That's not going to go well. Okay, these people are scared. Knock on the door, walk off the porch, and stand back. And so they'll open the door, and you kind of yell, "Hey, listen, I'm starting a community garden. Just in case, don't know what's gonna happen on the other side of this. Do you know how to grow food? Okay, no, but I got a lot of land. You want to plant back there? You can plant back there, but you're gonna have to walk around back, monkey, because the monkeys got diseases." Okay, listen, I'm gonna walk around back, because sharecropping is a thing. You have a lot of people who have land that will let you grow food. All they want is a percentage of what you're growing, you know. But when people go back to bartering and being sustainable, then they realize they don't have to be slaves anymore. So we need Nextdoor is one of those apps where you can link up people who got the skills with people who got the money, with people who got the land. Put all that together, you got a community. You got something beautiful you can build.
Hey there, I'm Jonathan Harris filling in for Trinity Chavez, and you're watching Just Press Play, the show that brings you in-depth reports, exclusive interviews, and controversial issues you may have missed during the week on RT America. On our playlist today, Dennis Miller sits down with actor Giancarlo Esposito.
At the beginning, what's the who calls you? What's the audition? How do they see you? What do you think of Fring when they pitch him to you? How do you play him? Give me the birth of this.
Yeah, I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we want you to tape for this show," and my managers immediately say, as they do with all actors,
the government can close their business because this power.
Businesses defy any state rulings that they shut down.
This week on Politicking, Larry King was joined by trial attorney and America's Lawyer host Mike Papantonio to discuss whether or not these business closures are legal.
Can businesses defy any state rulings that they shut down?
Larry, there's something that's called, it's a constitutional concept called police power. It comes from the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, and it allows a state official, a governor, or even a mayor to determine where health, safety, or welfare of the people living in that community are at risk. They have the chance to take very extraordinary steps. For example, the case that you see, a couple of cases developing right now where attorneys are trying to say you can't close my business. It's really, really bad advice. The government can close their business because this power allows them to actually do fairly extraordinary things. One extraordinary thing that they can do is they can quarantine an entire area. That involves closing down bars, it closes down businesses. They can even tell you, go to your house and don't come out because there is a curfew. So this concept of police powers, again, it comes from it comes directly from the 10th Amendment right for a city or a state to say, we're going to take some extraordinary steps, but we have to do that to protect health or safety or welfare of a community.
The federal government was admittedly late in this, calling it a hoax at the beginning. Can we sue the federal government for being late?
Hang on. Think about that. Is it a good idea to have the ability to shut down an area to prevent that area from becoming a pandemic zone? Y'all know me. I don't actually agree that the kings and lords got any rights over me. I just believe in principles and common damn sense. It's a good idea to have a body strong enough to protect the surrounding communities by shutting down an area so that they don't kill everybody, creating a pandemic out of a piece of bacterium. Absolutely, that's a good idea. I don't care about the laws. I don't do the kings and lords. I don't give two damns about none of that. So yeah, it's a good idea to have it, you know. So, but they're discussing the legal aspect. I like to discuss the common sense aspect. I think common sense is all we're going to have in the future anyway. It's all we had in the past, and they need to get rid of this whole law idea. So that actually makes sense. But once again, I think if you look at what's sustainable and you do the best you can to protect what's the most sustainable. The most sustainable businesses are small business and medium sized. the people who don't want to be greedy, the people who have a business because they're just either trying to help the community or they just want to live. They're sustainable. They don't have negative externalities the size of these massive corporations. I think all the massive corporations, you know what, to a large degree, they caused this. To a large degree, they bought the legislature and the legislation for their industry, for their product to do what they want to do, and bought laws. You know, so legislators weren't actually focused on the things they should have been focused on, like food scarcity, like a sustainable ecosystem, like having the means in place in case a pandemic breaks out, the suits and masks and all the things that the medical, like big corporations are causing it. They need to die. That's my belief. They all those monopolies need to fail. They were a big role. We're all a part of the system, but they were a huge part of the system, creating static so they can make profit that always helps these bad times occur. So yeah, I think they should go.
It's going to be very difficult to do that, if not impossible. There's certain immunity that government officials have where it comes to making administrative decisions. They can be really bad decisions, but for us to make the argument that, gee whiz, you didn't do what you should have done when you should have done it is a pretty weak case. There may be some people that give it a try, but ultimately by the time SCOTUS takes a look at it, they're going to find that there's plenty of precedent to say that's not a viable claim. It doesn't mean it can't be done, but the viability of that claim won't be long-lived on the appellate courts.
Mike, tell us what legal issues might occur after all this is over.
I think one of the biggest issues that we're going to see is we're going to have insurance companies that insure businesses, Larry, and they're going to be saying, we don't owe you any money for business loss. They're going to say, if you look at a tip.
All right, I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna move forward. I want to see the whole depression. So, oh, that's Lee Camp. We got to give a little time to Lee Camp, because Lee says truthful things. I don't agree with Lee. I don't agree with Lee when it comes to, unfortunately, Bernie and stuff like that. But when it comes to reality of him explaining that a capital-based society is what murders us, he's right. He's right. He says capitalism. I don't like to say capitalism because I don't think that gets to the root and principle of the problem, but he's right about that. You have people who are already living in an apocalypse, right? And now we're just joining them. We are joining the people around the world who we forced into these conditions.
Causes of death.
The fact that our system is not prepared for this is not a surprise. I also want to just add one other thing, which is that it goes to show, like, they don't care about us, meaning the ruling elite, the heads of these. Their investors don't focus on cures because cures are not good for profit.
Hello? But you know, and you don't have to have worked in the pharmaceutical industry to know that. You can just go to your local CVS. Patricia House was talking about, and it's still a false flag. It absolutely is a false flag, based in definition. Most people don't know what a false flag is. If they're focused on profit, then, and their profit is it creating conditions to allow them to make more money, disaster capitalism on all levels, then absolutely it's a false flag, you know? So people with the whole word hoax, it's a hoax in terms of you're taking something and you're drumming it up to be something that it perhaps isn't. Doesn't mean that it's fake, doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means that you're hoaxing part of it. And what has your government not hoaxed since birth? I can tell you this, everything out my government's mouth is a hoax. All of it, everything, all of it. The few politicians I know on a personal level, none of them believe in politics. That bothers me. None of them believe in politics. Now, if they've been there in a long time, they're just doing a job. Everything is a hoax. Everything is about controlling human beings and expanding and creating capital out of a disaster scenario.
What's good for profit is treatment while the person stays sick. So in fact, this has been a long-term plan for them not to focus on cures, and now we're in a situation where we can't cure people and we can't solve this.
Well, we never focused on it. We don't even have cure mythology, right? Or methodology. We didn't focus the doctors on being healers, so they can't heal nobody. They can drug the hell out of you, but they can't heal you. And that's the same thing. The other thing, I'm Patricia Hauser, she's one of my 9/11 crew, which is, not mine, but just 9/11 crew. You got people who know 9/11 was an inside job who believe this. And I don't know what this is. You know, I hear the word false flag or hoax. You think, oh, well, somebody planned the whole thing. I'm not so certain that somebody planned the whole thing. I think that bacteria conspire against the human. Government conspires against the human. Political party conspires against the human. Literally, politics is a model based in creating a condition where you can rob Peter to pay Paul. It's all based in conspiring. So now you do need conspiracy theorists because everything is conspiring. And when you got all these conspiring forces and eventually a little pebble starts rolling downhill, it creates an avalanche because everything and everybody and every corporation and every politician and every ignorant political person on the internet and everybody's piling in with nature, trying to profitize, trying to make profit of a condition that didn't occur. So it's absolutely a false flag and a hoax. Absolutely. And it means people are dying, and a lot more people are going to die until we realize they create these hoax and false flag conditions. All the politicians, all the political parties, all of nature, because it's profitable.
By the way, this is just one disaster. If another natural disaster were to strike now, we would be in so much more trouble.
Well, and actually, it kind of is two on top of each other in the sense that a lot of our IV bags and IV solution is made in Puerto Rico, which was hit by hurricanes and earthquakes. And did we go and help them and fix their system and get it back to where it was? No. So now they're not in a position to actually fulfill those orders. And this is multiple disasters on top of each other.
Absolutely. He just said what I said. He heard me. He heard me. He heard me. It's all compiling part on top of it. And so I think I wanted to mention is what Buddha Cat just said, what Elaine said, which is we don't know. There is not one statistic you can trust because the people aren't getting tested. You don't know if these people are dying from the flu. You don't know if they're dying from a bioweapon. You don't know if they're dying from COVID-19, 16, 14, 10, 5, 2. We didn't build a healthcare system. We got a disease management system. We literally created pharmaceutical and chemical companies that make money on getting people sick, keeping them sick, and not healing them. So absolutely you can't trust any statistics because we don't know how many people even got it. And the people that die, if they test them, if that country even had a test, if they even had that thing that killed them. Right? The flu kills 30,000 to 35,000 people a year. But this is what the doctors have been saying. What are the wise ones? They've been saying what Buddha says, which is keep calm, focus on not letting this become a problem. And we all proceed, not we all, as a society, we all went to the ignorant extremes to capitalize on it.
The CDC hasn't released the full methodology for its projection model that I just went over, so it's really unclear whether that projection is purely numbers-based. But what is clear is that the numbers do not account for interventions that are currently in place. Still, they should 100% be taken seriously. I want to compare some of the estimated COVID-19 numbers to America's other top leading causes of death.
Take the fact that people are dying seriously. Do not take the statistics seriously. Take the fact that people are dying. People are getting guns and toilet paper. They're running out of food, and people are dying from illnesses. And the conspiracy, everything else, nothing else really matters. Keep focused on that fact. Everything else is what Brother Jonathan's telling you, is to control the narrative, to control what you think, to keep tuning into the news. The CDC and their statistics, I'm not sure that they've ever been CDCing. They have benefits. They're not all dark and evil. They got problems like everything else. But numbers are interesting for me because being a little bit of a statistician and the spreadsheets and the numbers and measurable results and a lot of the things I did in solving problems in corporate America, doing all that problem analysis stuff I won't bore y'all with, is you can't really trust the statistics that you got bad data, right? Because the statistic comes out and it's based on the data. If your data is wrong or if your data is not accurate, that's why you got that standard variance and error. Y'all remember statistics? If you don't have data, you don't know how many people have it, you don't know how many people died from it, and you don't even have enough tests. You take it all with a grain of salt. Take it with 2 grains of salt. I'm gonna get to the depression part.
Because I think it'll put things in perspective for people. Now, the first cause of death, number one cause of death in America, is heart disease. According to the CDC's latest available data, 30 million adults in the U.S. were diagnosed with heart disease in 2017.
Okay, perspective, right? Most people die of heart disease, and this is why we called it the cuckoo flu. Okay? Because you're cuckoo. They made you cuckoo to make it profitable. More people die of cheddar cheese. Have you seen, because I ain't got nothing else to do, you need to watch Thank You for Smoking. If somebody can find that on Facebook, we'll do a watch party on that later. Watch Thank You for Smoking. Most people die from profitable industries, all right? They die from heart disease. Heart disease, cardiovascular disease, CVD, cardiovascular disease, CVD, sugar, milk, cheese, dairy. They die of conditions that we get. Do you know we just gave a stimulus to the sugar, to the damn candy industry? Somebody explain that to me. The number one killer of people right now is the candy industry. And we, in that $1.2 trillion stimulus package, we got money for the candy companies. And this is why we the cuckoo, because it's cuckoo. We believe nonsense and we can't sit back and look at the principle. Well, if heart disease is the number one killer, maybe we shouldn't be subsidizing the industries that make it the number one killer. Cuckoo flu's not even up there. All right, I like this. I appreciate what she's doing, right? I got it. I thought she was gonna do something else, but this is what you need to think about. Number two is cancer. Cancer is literally an industry like sugar and cheese and dairy. Okay? You think these people are crazy because they're going vegan? No, they actually read books. They understand a few things. Some people go too far, but they understand a few things. We're subsidizing the very industries that goodness gracious. I don't even want to touch pesticides and chemicals and poison water and all the carcinogens in the products. And Reagan getting rid of the testing chemicals that go in American products. Like this was the point that we were talking about in the very beginning, which is we're cuckoo. Because significantly, a lot more profitable things created by these corporations that run your damn government, that created this big club that none of your politicians are in, but they all work for, are just writing checks to the industries that are behind the real plagues of our time.
That's 12.1% of the country's entire adult population, so that's very high. Now, heart disease deaths that period totaled over 647,000. Cancer comes in at number 2 with over 599,000 deaths, and unintentional accidents are number 3 with over 169,000 fatalities. The low-end CDC estimate of 200,000 deaths for COVID-19 means that this virus could easily become the third leading cause of death in America. And on the high end, the
3. It's got some work to do. It's 3. It could become. It's like a pole position. Who can become a leading killer, and then we're going to make an industry out of treating people, not healing people, whatever that killing thing is. You scare the populace, control the narrative, make a product to feed it. And this is what we talked about, which I've kind of gotten away from because I'm tired of saying it. If you have a corporatocracy or oligarchy, they literally make the laws to not fix the problems you're complaining about. They make industries out of the problem, right? Our problem is always us. Prevention, exactly, Buddha Cat. It's prevention. Everything is prevention. You put the majority, the lion's share of resources, time, energy, discussion on prevention. It's ignorant people who fall into the conversations on the back end of fighting. It's like a fire and inferno. If you got an inferno, stop putting out. It's like a forest fire. Better example. You got a forest fire going. Are you out there? Should you be out there putting most of the firefighters spraying trees down, like putting the fires out off of each individual tree? Or should you be doing a fire line, right? Where they get the majority out there creating ditches and burning ahead of time so when the fire gets there, it stops. Prevention. Everything is prevention. If your government had half a damn clue right now, they'd be setting up community gardens everywhere. They'd be giving everybody chickens. They'd be preparing for the long-term shutdown to make their population sustainable if the people were the priority. But the people aren't the priority. The profit is the priority. All right, I'm not gonna go too far down on that. But and this is why we talk principles in all these discussions. whittle down with other intelligent people prevention. Always focus on prevention. All right, I'm kind of done with that. I want to go to the depression part. Because the whole point is that if we know depression is coming and we don't act like it, then they're just going to control us in that. Everything is control. Everything is control. Everything is fear than control. That's all Chris had.
That kind of resistance.
Well, you talk about how when local or amateur rappers incorporate into their art specific acts of police abuse,
yes,
then they're really in for it.
Yeah, and God forbid they name the police officer who did it. That's right. It has now, but that goes back to that distinction that we made at the very beginning between well-known artists and amateurs.
Oh, that sounds interesting, but I can't go right there. I gotta watch that later, right? Rap is just telling a story. It's poetry. People are telling their story, but they turn it into gangster rap. Why? They kind of wanted to make profit scaring people. That's another whole profitable thing we could spend a long time on. Rap used to just be the way people could tell their story in a way, entertaining way, that the vast majority would listen to. And they were just young kids telling their story, right? But they grew up and experienced. And if it didn't become popular, a lot of us would have no idea what the worst areas in this world, in this country actually look like. Hang on.
The one thing that I think most people missed,
here we go. Depression.
The move by the Fed on Sunday had nothing to do with the stock market. That was about
Smith, who says that while the horse has already left the barn in terms of recession, our next concern needs to be making sure we don't enter an economic depression.
What with that?
The cow has left the barn on this. So now we have to go through a global repricing. I was very involved in the 2008 financial crisis and worked with senators and other folks. And, the one thing that I think most people missed, the move by the Fed on Sunday had nothing to do with the stock market. That was about the banks. The bank plumbing was stuck. And if they had to mark down some of the assets they had on Monday, it would have been just like 2008. They would have been insolvent. So people who are more sophisticated, I can't say it, he said, about the financial world knew that was all about the banks. Then when Trump came in, then we came to the second day and we sort of said mumbly pumbly, probably go to maybe July or August, I hear people say. Well, a lot of people, particularly people who listen to right-wing, media, they really thought it was going to magically disappear in April. So then that threw another fear bomb, and that's another tape bomb, and then oil under 30, and now at 20. These tape bombs have equal reactions from various sides of the world. For instance, today, the 20-year and the 10-year Treasury bill moved. I've never seen it like that. It moved from 0.5% to 1.3% and back to 65 basis points all in one day. That wouldn't happen in a year or 2 years. But what's happening is that all this stuff is connected. If I'm selling off my stocks, I don't need all those 10-year T-bills as collateral for my borrowing. So as I deleverage, all of a sudden that goes up. Well, when that goes up, then I sell all my stuff down, and then somebody else has hedged that and blah, blah, blah. So we have a downward vicious circle. This is a negative feedback loop, and it doesn't stop with, a BB gun. It stops with the Fed coming in and buying $1 trillion worth of ETFs. Boom, it ends. It comes in with the essentially credit lines, credit card, fake credit cards, real credit cards that go in that you can spend to pay rent, et cetera. Because to your point, if I'm just taking $1,000 and I'm giving it to my landlord, I'm not doing anything about stimulating. That's just simply about keeping the status quo. But when a service economy, we have way too many people that are going to be out of work.
Right, as you said, it's about keeping your head above water. It's not about stimulating anything.
And you are correct.
And it seems like that despite all of this Fed intervention, which you just talked about, it's not doing anything. In fact, every time they do something, it gets worse. Then we get that little bit of bounce, and then what happens? It goes even further down. So we know that, like you said, that bubble's ready to pop. I mean, do we quickly?
I can't do it. And it needs to. There you go. It needs to pop. It needs to pop. And I'm gonna try. Let me, if I can give you my analysis of what he just said. I don't want to hear the whole thing because once again, these people make their money on the current situation, right? I don't know who he is, but he has investments. I can tell that. You can tell that. They make their money. So there's limits to what they're going to say. Bottom line, You have a central bank in your country, and it wants to be the best central bank in the world. However, you got central banks all over the world, and they're vying for top pole and top position. America's been on top for a long time. That time is coming to an end. So your currency is being collapsed. Your bank is fighting to stabilize and keep the black market alive, keep slavery going, keep you at work, keeping you a slave. They want your child to be a slave. You teaching your children to go get grades to be a slave, and they're collapsing. Fighting the Russian Rothschild Bank, fighting with the Bank of England, fighting with the others, and they're all polling for position. This is how the real world works. It has nothing to do with politics. It all has to do with money and power in various groups at different levels fighting for pole position. So I think you let it collapse. I do. I think you let it collapse. But everything's connected all over the world. But we have an unsustainable system. If they actually pump enough stimulus in it to hold this thing up, there we go. If they actually pump enough stimulus in it to hold it up, then that means we keep the normal. I don't want the normal. I mean, not the normal. The normal is over. That's done. Like, your world is done. How your world used to work a few months ago ain't never coming back, at least not for 10 years or more if you want to keep it. This is a paradigm shifting opportunity. We can now build a model that's not based in destruction and war and slavery and violence and rape and women taping up a nipple so they can feed a baby in public in a damn public restroom where people dookie. Okay, we can get rid of that system. We can shut it down, or we can cheer it and support it. But it's barreling down. Whoever is capitalizing on this at a larger global level, they know what they're doing. Does anybody know somebody who told you, who used to listen to Ron Paul and economists going back over 10 years that the bubble was going to get popped? You're anybody who's brown, got a bald headed, because some people, they try to stay grounded. They don't ever really say, I told you so. But everything is about pole positioning. The same way you want to beat somebody for grades, the German central bank wants to beat you out, the Italian central bank. You can't have a society based on capital. We're all capitalists, but you cannot have a society based on capital. It's always going to end up being murderously and bloody because money at its base is a representation of human labor. As long as you have a representation of human labor as your model, as the base point of a system, you will always have slavery. If you think slavery is a bad idea, if you want your children to be free, then you have to have a system that has no capital. It has to go away. It really is that simple, right? Slavery is the opposite of freedom. And as long as you got capital, it's always about taking your freedom, and in ways you'll agree with, or scaring you enough to take more of them, which is what they started to talk about ahead of this. The Constitution and Bill of Rights, and whether or not they got the right to do this. Listen, I'm not saying to these young people, like I always say, always trust a person with the gun. Not trust, but listen to them, all right? Your government doesn't have a gun. They have a worldwide global military and police state. They don't need a constitution. They don't need a Bill of Rights. They don't need laws. They don't need anything. They can do anything they want to you. Now, there are consequences and repercussions for that down the road. There sure are. But we wanted a police state. We needed to beat the Republicans. They needed to beat the Democrats or whatever. And so we have the world that we have. And that's what I'm saying. We need to shift the paradigm, but we got to look at the principle. The principle is money, and money has to go away, or we all gonna die. If anyone has the means, they should gift their community a sustainable power system, a garden, a greenhouse. Absolutely, Kimberly. And now, why you can still go get them? At your local Home Depot, they got the plastic and greenhouses. You can put a sunroom on the side of your house. You got your money in the market. You might want to move that stuff. You might want to move it. They can do everything they can to stabilize that market. I'm going to tell you to do everything you can to stabilize your community. You need to get that stuff, and you need to start making a community that's sustained with water, food, and a place to live. Don't worry about the billionaires in the market and multi-millionaires and the trillionaires. Their world's coming to an end. Let it come to an end. But you make sure your community isn't thrown into turmoil as they try to prop up and keep their world. Their world has to die. That's why I think there might be some divine intervention happening behind the scenes in all of this. But you need to make sure you're sustainable. be strong, you have to be able to feed the people that you love. You got to be able to take care of the people that you love, the people you can reach out and touch someone. Close and local by. And it's not fear-mongering. It's understanding that what your great-great-grandparents told you is true. Strength comes from community. You have to have the ability and means to take care of your community, or you'll be weak. We've been weak too long. We built a world on weakness. We built a world full of governments that their basic model is making human beings weak. Human beings that have children that die from not having strong parents. It's time to go back to being strong, folks. I actually spent a lot of time on my old channel. It's my only YouTube channel. I got another one. Actually, I got a couple of them. My other one's old. I'm not sure if I want to show it to people. I think I showed it to some people. I don't know. It was over 10 years ago. It's old me. And I probably said some of the dumbest things I never heard. I started watching some of my old videos. Building rocket mass heaters and the Vault wind turbine and solar panels and aquaponics systems. When I first learning how to do this and garden and stuff like that, I've been watching the videos. What I might do is a video where I'll look at my old videos, but I'll talk over them. That dude was an idiot. That dude was lost. That dude was like most people today, watching the news, waiting for their government to come save them. The government and big corporations that caused all the problems. But that's when I started getting like a taste for sustainability, a taste for community, when I was starting to really understand finally the things that my grandfather told me that I threw away to join the pharmaceutical industry and the big chemical industry. So I got that channel. I might show y'all. If you find the channel, don't send it to nobody. Please don't do that. Don't. Listen. If you find my old channel, you hear my little ignorant voice. I don't think I was ever on camera on it. I was growing the greenhouses. I was building sustainable passive greenhouses. I think I built a hot air collector, hot water heater, hot air heater for creating greenhouses. I think I might have put the big one. I built a big old greenhouse when I realized I'm not actually an American. I don't have any rights. I put a big old greenhouse in the backyard. That township swooped in there. Tear it down! You can't have a greenhouse! I said, but I got a stomach. I can't have, no, you can't have a greenhouse. I was just like, you know what? Y'all can go to hell. I'm gonna tear down my greenhouse, but y'all can go burn. And one day in the future, when your world is burning, I'm gonna laugh at you. And so I'm laughing now. You're going out there trying to force the grass growing above 8 inches and people can't afford gasoline for their car, so they ain't mowing that damn grass. Their world is burned. The whole unsustainable world is burning. Let it burn. But you make sure you got food for your stomach and you got food for the kid's stomach in your neighborhood, or things are gonna go bad and awry. So I absolutely agree with that comment. Absolutely. It is that time. Divine intervention does not mean Q. Are you sure, Lori? That's not divine? Stop it. Don't laugh at the Q people. Q said some things that were true. He did. It did. Because we only know that Q could be a woman. That's what I would love. I would love it if Q was like a little 10-year-old girl. You know how fun that would be? She was 10. But no, she was right on a lot. Q, she was right on a whole bunch of stuff. She was right on a whole bunch of stuff that my friends said. People I trust. I didn't go into detail with none of it. But yeah, this could be divine intervention. The question is, what do we do with it? We're being given an opportunity to build a world where rape is not profitable. Where warlords blowing up entire towns, raping entire towns of women under American Congress support is not possible. We're given that potential. What are we going to do with it? Rally with your base. Who is your base? I know who my base is. My base of people with 2 feet. Well, that's wrong. That could be legism. My base is people who are humans. Wave, spiritual, energy creature, beautiful things that are on this planet trying to survive in a time we know everybody can thrive. Yay, vids on sustainability. Yes, Lori, that's what they were. My old channel, it was, dang it, I don't even want to say what it's about. But I say it was about, people might find it. We have a monoculture, and it has to go away. That's why we're here. And that was, at that time, I was probably listening to Ron Paul and a couple other people back then. I don't think I knew about Peter Joseph and Zeitgeist Movement. I don't think I knew about the Venus Project, but I knew we had a monoculture. We had a monoculture that does not work. You can't make one mono-human. You can't have one culture. Everybody's diverse, everybody's different. You can't have a one culture of sending kids to school so they can get grades, so they can get jobs, so they can go out in the market and work for killers, murderers, rapists, and corporations that are all negative, have negative externalities, building an unsustainable world, because eventually it'll collapse. So we have to get away from monoculture. And that began my sustainability voyage. And I think, who was that, Lori? I think everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Everybody has a talent. And we got to utilize those purposes and talents the best we can to build a sustainable world. And we're given a chance here. The question is, are we going to take it and run with it? My house doesn't have a lot of natural light or a cold frame. You can build a sustainable greenhouse. You can grow cold crops right now. Right now, people putting the peas in. I put my peas in yesterday, but I grow them indoors. Can't grow them outside because the damn squirrels and birds smarter than us. We're 98% monkey, and they know what it means when that plant comes up. It means it's another pod full of peas right there, so they dig your plant up. So I start my peas indoors, and I get them outside. And I want to teach people to do that in my community, and I want them to teach me about the things they grow, so I don't make mistakes with my spinach. I've never grown spinach before. Not like in mass. Right now I got hundreds of spinach plants. I want it to be thousands, right? Because we got a lot of hungry kids in the neighborhood and they need smoothies. That's what you put in smoothies is spinach. Gerard, you have a channel on Facebook page with Claudia for a while, right? Yep, we got a page over there. Hey, honey, I got to talk to Claudia. We haven't talked in a bit because we do have to get back to sustainability and teaching people how to grow plants and pots and stuff like that. So we did a whole bunch of that. I got to get going. I gotta get going because I just got a text. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. We're gonna get together with some people. Some people in my family started to take this thing seriously now. Now I'm starting to see, like, you colonizers. I love y'all to death, but I got a family full of Democrat colonizers and 1 or 2 Republicans. And now they scared. Like, yeah, you scared now, huh? That little feeling in your belly, it's getting to you. So they just texted me and said, I got to get on this call. So I'm going to get on the call and talk to them. Hey, listen, this is Gerard. Y'all have a wonderful, awesome day. Please use those apps. Please build up sustainable communities. Work with your community. Get to know your neighbors from a distance. And start talking about community growing. If we can get bartering going and sustainability going, we don't have to worry about what's coming. The billionaires got to worry. The trillionaires got to worry. The bankers got to worry. The big corporations, the people who want to keep murderous, killing, slavery-based, massive corporation jobs, they got to worry. You don't. All you need is food, house, warm, light, and Netflix. Little loving doesn't hurt either. Anyway, I had to go. Listen, y'all have a great day. It's Gerard. Love y'all to death. I am out of here. We're going to be all right on the other side. Everything is going to be all right because everything always was all right. The sun always comes up in the morning. Don't worry, be happy. Everything's working out the way it's supposed to. Not the way Q says, or B, or A, or C, or Democrats, Republicans. World unfolds the way it should. Let's use this opportunity to make a different model world. Gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all now. Bye.